Gunrule TV.
Gunrule TV. Gunrule TV, nigga. Brand Rule!
Oh, yeah!
Gunrule, man. It's serious.
Gunrule TV, Broad Street Bully in the building, y'all know.
Oh, yeah!
Yo, what up? This Sheddy, man. You watching Gunrule TV. You already know how we do. Hard body, heavy. Anybody out there don't know, which is probably a lot of people, but my name is Sheddy. Other aliases I go by, you know, Ronnie Rockstar, Big Heavy Sheddy. Go by many different aliases, but that's what I'm most known as, the world-renowned Sheddy. The guy who wants to be famous and won't stop till he does. Name Sheddy, that's more of a nickname. It wasn't like a rap name. Like, I didn't come up with that as a rap name. It was my heritage. My father is 100% Cuban, and if anybody know Cubans, they stashing these machetes all around the house. He would just leave a lot of stuff around the house, pellet guns, BB guns, but the most thing he left around was machetes. Like, you would find them under the couch, in the kitchen, behind the stove, in the refrigerator, by your bed. And like, I liked it to play with them. I'd be outside chopping trees with machetes. I did it so much. My dad started calling me Machete, and eventually my big brother Pete, he started calling me Ryan Sheddy. And as I matured as an artist, I just dropped the Ryan and just made it Sheddy. I don't know how most people perception is, like they just wake up one day and they want to do music or something. To me, I always say I was born into me, because as far as I can remember, like when I heard some music, some rapping, battles and stuff like that, it just sparked a flame on the inside of me. Like, that's what I always wanted to do. Like, as a youngster, I wrote poetry, and that later matured into just writing lyrics and stuff, hitting the studio. I feel like if I didn't do music, I'd probably die right now, because that's just how I vent too. But I always loved it. Like, man, I would hear a rap song and I would just be in the mirror for hours just emulating what I see. Like, that's just what I always wanted to do. I started off as a battle rapper. Like, I done numerous battles locally, and I evolved into an artist. It's rough out here in Grand Rapids, man, or like we like to call it Gunrule, because Grand Rapids, that's where we live, but Gunrule is more to the state of mind of people who live here, you know. Man, it was tough growing up here. My father, you know, Cuban, my whole family's from Chicago. Me and my younger brother, we the only ones born here. It made me who I am, so all I can say is I love it. Water getting turned off, lights getting turned off, struggling. Sometimes we got to eat peanut butter and jelly crackers for dinner, you know what I mean? So it was like, but I ain't mad at none of it, because it actually built my character, you know. So whenever bad luck comes my way, I just get into that mode, like I can deal with it, you know. It was tough. It was a tight fight, you know what I'm saying? But they say struggles build character, and I stay true to that, because, man, we went from being rich to poor. My father, he was a major drug dealer around here, which he's not anymore. He's chilling. My dad is 70 years old, so he's chilling. But he had us living that rich life, that fast life, that money. And then when he went to prison, it was like the total opposite. All those struggles bared on my mother, and then we eventually didn't have anything really but each other. So it was pretty hard, but it made me who I am, and I adapted to it. My brother, man, he had a hard life. That's a story. They need a movie about his life, though, because my brother moved out of Grand Rapids on a hope and a dream, was homeless at a point in time, but now he's doing his thing. #1 middleweight in USA, top 10 overall ranked middleweight. So that's a story in itself. Pete Kid Chocolate Quillin, that's my big bro. You know, me and him, we 2 years apart. Growing up with him, like, we was best friends. Like, a lot of brothers be close, but like, this was actually my friend. Like, we hung together, we did everything we did together and stuff. We had everybody who knew us growing up knew we fought every other day with each other. That's probably half the reason why he a boxer now. But like, growing up with him was just weird, man. That guy was weird, man. We used to like go to the Aquinas College for 12 hours just in the woods finding salamanders and frogs and stuff. That's how he was, a nature freak, and he always pushed me to be the best, and I always pushed him to be the best. So we was like our own motivation, especially through the struggles we was going through with the lack of money and the poverty we was living in. So It was like we just made our own world and just tried to be the best of what we can do, though. He now in the position where he's the boss of what's going on, so you know, it's always one guy in his ear like, nah, let's just do this, come out with something along this theme. And so, I mean, it probably was my fault too, me probably going to jail a couple times. But now it's 2012, you will see me bringing him out. That is actually in the agenda. So, like his next HBO fight, you will see Sheddy on there bringing him to the ring. Anybody can influence me, like, just somebody out there making hot music, being themselves. Like, I look up to that. That influenced me. But as far as me starting when I was coming up doing it, man, I love Wu-Tang. Love Red, man. That's like one of my favorite rappers, you know. And Jay-Z, of course. That's my guy right there. The Locks. And that's pretty much it. Rakim, Nas. I was pretty much a hip hop fiend. I would say I'm a mixture of like Red, man, with a little Ross in there, with a little Jada in there, with a touch of Hove. If you hear me on the track, I'm gonna be as realistic as possible. You know, try not to dumb down my style at all for nobody. You know, I just bring me on the track, but also no fabrication. This is Sheddy all the time. Like, I'm a joker. I play around. I talk a lot of stuff, you know, but try to be humble at the same time. My style of music is just being unpredictable. And I like to call it like an ambidextrous type of, I come from left, from right. It's just whatever's thrown at me, I'm going to adapt to it, and I'm going to go in there and do me. That's my style. It's unpredictable. I worked with a lot of artists. Locally, I work with a lot of artists around here. That's too many to name, but like more in the mainstream of things, you know, I work with Willie the Kid. I work with Ransom. That's like my mentor in this. Ransom, I've done multiple songs with him. And J.R. Ryder. I did a joint with J.R. Ryder. I work with Swiss Beats on a lot of stuff, and his production team, Avery Chambliss and Snags, and a bunch of producers and stuff. Mostly, the more of the famous guys I work with was behind the scenes, like producers and engineers and stuff. Been in multi-million-dollar studios and stuff. Not bragging at all about it, but you know, that's how we get it. Ransom, man, like instantly when I met this guy, it was like magic, because I actually grew up listening to him with the A-Team and Desert Storm and stuff, the Professional, DJ Clue and all of that. So it's like I always listen to this guy. Like, even out of Joe Buttons and Hitchcock, for some reason I always liked it Ransom. And then later on down the line, we meet this guy, end up being like a family member to us. So it was like he coached me in there, told me how to handle the industry and what the do's and don'ts and everything. So he, like, that was a real big guy that I look up to. As far as like a guy like J.R. Ryder, the thing that I liked about him was through all the controversy, everybody saying this and that about him, he's still up in there doing his craft, and he going hard as ever. Actually, Sound Effects produced the track, Cold as Ice. I just remember doing the hook and sending it to him, and he sent it back to me in like 20 minutes, like already done. Like, you can tell it wasn't like no stuff he wrote down, because he had bro name in there, and he just was, he had the theme of the beat going in, the theme of the hook in there, so it was like, that was crazy to me. I did a song with V12, the Hitman, and this is before he even got down where he at. That used to be my best friend growing up. We lived next door to each other. You know, he doing stuff for Yo Gotti, Gucci Man, Willie them, they whole movement, drama. So me and him did a song called Kill the Game. I always loved that song, though. That was one of my favorite songs. Deers in My Headlights, produced by Fame Boy. That was always one of my favorite songs. And we gonna make my favorite song this year.